Depending on how long you've been playing Fortnite, there may be some locations that used to be in the game that you've never seen or even heard of before. That's why in today's video, I will be going over 10 locations that got removed from Fortnite. But first, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to see all of the videos on my channel as quickly as you can. Big shout out to Lucha Dragon for being the first comment on my last video. You are part of the notification squad and I highly appreciate you. Now let's jump into my list. Moisty Mire. This swamp haven was located in the southeastern side of the map around where Paradise Palms is currently located. It was a very neglected location of the map as it never yielded a ton of loot and was mostly used for collecting wood. Alongside that, this area featured a boatload of water throughout it, which made it very annoying to fight in as water tends to be. Despite all of that, this swamp somehow inspired a skin to get added into the game called the Moisty Merman, which will forever cement this location in the game. Prison. The Fortnite Prison, one of the most underrated drop spots in the game, was located right next to Moisty Mire. You could get so much loot here along with a ton of steel and brick. It was one of my favorite spots to land, and honestly, I'm still really salty that it's gone. However, once the meteor hit the map in Season 4, the prison was one of the unfortunate casualties that got affected, and it changed it a good bit, making it nowhere near as good as it once was. It of course got removed with the addition of Paradise Palms in Season 5. Dusty Depot. Since we're on the topic of the meteor, we might as well talk about the main thing it hit. Dusty Depot was never that great of a location to land in. It had very little loot, and if you weren't the first person to land, it was highly likely you would die shortly after touching the ground. However, thanks to the unique design of the warehouses, alongside with it being in the center of the map, it made for great gunfights, especially back when players did not build nearly as much as they do now. The depot will always hold a special place in many players' hearts solely for it being such an iconic spot on the map. Death Factories. While this place had many names, my friends and I dubbed it Death Factories because we died there a lot. Despite that, we still opted to land there very often. It had 3 factories, all with various amounts of loot, cover, and mats, which made for a fantastic drop location if you could survive. Another great part of the map that I was sad to see go once the meteor hit and deleted it from existence. Soccer Stadium. We all know of the small soccer stadium near Tilted Towers, but what I'm talking about was its dad. This stadium was located in the northwest side of the map near Junk Junction and above Pleasant Park. It was added just in time for the FIFA World Cup that took place in Russia. It featured a giant scoreboard that would light up and track each team's score when you kicked the ball into either of the nets. Besides the obvious soccer features, it also included a ton of loot, way more than the current soccer stadium we have today, which made it quickly become a favorite drop spot for many players. Generic houses. I'm not really too sure what to call this area, but it used to be located in the same general vicinity as the soccer stadium. It featured all of the wooden house designs throughout the rest of the map, but all gathered together for you to loot. That meant it had a ton of chests and a crazy amount of floor loot. And as a bonus, you could quickly and easily farm each of the 4 buildings for a good amount of wood and some solid brick as well. Loot Lake. Of course, we have to talk about the most recent change to the map, and that is the complete overhaul of what was once Loot Lake. I'm sure almost all of you know what Loot Lake was, but if not, I'll explain it in one word. Water. Before all the mobility got added to the game, if you had to pass Loot Lake to get into the border, you would have 3 choices. Choice A, go all the way around Loot Lake either way, which would take a large amount of time. Choice 2, waste an enormous amount of mats going through it. Or choice 3, just spend 5 hours walking through the water. It seems like my hatred of water in video games is universally shared, as Epic has removed every major water location as of the time of recording this video. Racetrack and the Crab and Fox. I am putting these 2 together because they are very minor, but I felt like I owed it to their memory to put them in this video. The crab was located near Moisty and the fox was located near Whaling, and both of them had various chests inside of them. They were also pre-built, which meant anyone could edit them at any time, just like the llama or the chair. The racetrack used to be a dirt path where you could race around with shopping carts. However, as the map evolved, the racetrack also has, turning it into an all-out competitive racing location built for the 21st century with paved roads and a time trial to go with it. Tomato Town. Ah, Tomato Town. So many good memories. Home of the Tomato Head and his famous pizzeria. At least, it used to be before it turned into a cult and transformed into some sort of Mayan temple. The actual pizza shop and Tomato Head were my go-to landing spots in this town. 2 potential chests along with a good amount of floor loot meant you could easily take out anyone who tried to steal your pizza or your business. I'm looking at you, Durr Burger. Anarchy Acres. I saved the best for last. I loved Anarchy Acres and dropped there for so many of my games. So many. It was a farm location like Fatal Fields, but featured so much more loot. There really aren't enough words that could get across my love for this location. It was a beautiful location. It was better than Fatal Fields. It was my favorite. May it rest in peace. And there you have it. That is my list of 10 locations that have been removed from Fortnite. Did you agree with my list? Are there any other locations you wish I would have mentioned? Be sure to comment them down below so we can reminisce about them together. And without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, and of course, share this video around with your friends who you think may enjoy. And that's pretty much it. So other than that, I will talk to you all later. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace out.